AP came back with another question that asks, you are in charge of planning the first in-person airing of Stack Your Points. What city do you choose to meet in? Why? And none of us can repeat. So, Lonnie, we're doing a live Stack Your Points somewhere. The four of us, five of us. Where would you want to put it and why?
I'm glad I get to go first because that means no matter what I say, it hasn't been said yet. But I'm taking it to Chicago. Sorry, Craig. You should have known that with the first line that came out of my mouth. I was going to say Chicago.
This guy.
And a couple of reasons why. Obviously, Midwest coast is the Midwest best coast. So Chicago's equally centrally located no matter where you're at in this country. There is a flight that goes to Chicago on whatever airline you want. It might go to a different airport, but every single airline pretty much goes to Chicago. So that way it's very inclusive for the entire community to get there. It shouldn't cost too much. I know that some people are going to have to go further than others, but it shouldn't cost too much. There's plenty of places to stay. So all the education and information that we're trying to put out there, no matter what your strategy is, no matter what airline you want to get there, no matter what hotel you want to stay at, major chain boutique, it is there. And it's easy to get around. But other than that, it's home sweet home for me. So if I had to pick any place, I would pick there. And it's history. It's one of the greatest skylines in this country, one of the greatest intersections of how this country was built. So why not take it back there? And we don't have to just talk about travel and credit cards. We can actually talk about all sorts of things that actually make me proud to say I'm from Illinois. So I'm going to pick Chicago.
Absolutely. Craig, I kind of did the cold envelope for the Knicks on you on that one. If you were to pick the site for Stack Your Points Live, where would you want us to go? You can just punish us for me giving you the Knicks envelope on that one.
I will say I love everything that Lonnie said because I am the biggest Chicago fanboy that you can possibly find. So I'm here for it. Part of me wants to say my second home from home, but I will resist that. And I'm going to say Miami. And the reason I'm going Miami, it's easy. There is always a flight somewhere from Miami. You can get on United, Delta, American. You can get, if you want to punish yourself, a flight from Denver on Frontier Airlines to Miami direct. Now you might connect 19 hours, but you can get there. And I think Miami is it's an interesting place, right? Because you can do this glitz and glam of the city. When I think about folks in the community that are a little bit more low key, thinking about Dugras, you can go out to the Everglades. You can see the national parks that are within an hour of Miami and see like the duality of nature and capitalism at its best, right? If you
Don't
want to
get in the
say, hey,
water.
don't get in the water. But if you say, hey, I want to stay at one of the fanciest hotels in the world, you have those options. If I want to stay at an IHG, you have those options. You can stay at Miami Beach. You could stay in Fort Lauderdale. You can stay at Deer Park. You want to do a B&B? You have it. You have the options. And one thing I really enjoy about Miami is the actual culture down there. And when we talk about the food, it's like a slightly, not much, but slightly cleaner New York, less congestion, and slightly, not much. But I think that you will find some of the best food in the world in Miami. And there's always something to do if you don't want to deal with us for a day and a half and say, hey, I just want to go and watch a race. I want to watch an F1 race. I want to watch NASCAR. I want to do something that's off the beaten path. There's history down there. So I think for me, it's Miami.
Solid choice. RJ and I will just be like finding all of the places indoors to be because me and the son had an altercation this weekend and I'm burning as we speak.
Can I tell you, it is hotter in Indiana than it is in Florida, Texas, or Phoenix.
Look, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about sunburn right now. It hurts.
Fair enough.
It hurts. I went full lobster over the weekend. I was not happy. RJ, You're picking the slate for our first in-person airing. Where do you want to go?
So logistically, my heart is saying like New York, right? Because everything flies to New York. United has New Jersey, but close enough. But my stomach says Nashville because amazing food. It's a big enough city where they have like a JW Marriott, they have the nice Hyatts, they have all of that. They've got a really nice Hilton that I have stayed at before. Amazing food, history, all of that, right? Like they have all of that, but it's urban enough where it's not, we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot to do. There's a bunch of places you can go. If you want to go tour a museum, you've got that. And I can go to LaGuardia for my layover, which means I get to go to the Delta Lounge, which is honestly the part I care about. No, but I feel like something like a Nashville, which is big but not New York City big, where you get swallowed up, would be an interesting place for a first Stack Your Points Live. Plus, I want to see Matt try to line dance.
No.
I want to see you try, Matt.
I support this request. Also, great Delta Lounge. Like
Line
Yeah.
really
dance is
awesome
not
Sky
that.
Club.
Line dance is not that bad, Matt. If I can do it, you can do it.
I was born with 4 left feet, sir.
Doesn't
Bubba
matter.
can dance. You can too.
If I can do it,
Matt,
you
we
do
will
it.
teach you the electric slide. We'll also get some cameo plan. Hit the ground. I'm here for it.
It'd be great. But yeah, I think something like Nashville would be fun. Again, New York City for logistics would be great, but you get swallowed up by New York in a way that if we're doing a meetup, I think it'll be easier to have a slightly smaller city.
It's fair. That's fair. I have had a number of cities floating in mind, none of which have actually been copies. I knew Lonnie would pick something like Chicago. I didn't think RJ would go with Nashville, but I was going to leave New York just in case RJ went with New York. Craig was the wild card, but Craig picked Miami, and I have no desire to be in Florida, so that's fair.
Fair.
I have been
Unless it's
torn.
for roller coasters. I'll go to Florida for roller coasters.
Dole
You
Whips
can
too.
have my seat as well. I've been torn. I have had DC as an option in my head. I have had taking it to Tariq's hometown of San Antonio, or current hometown of San Antonio. That would be fun. Sticking with Texas, I would love to keep it weird and go to Austin, or just flip coasts and do it up in Seattle.
Seattle was my backup.
Wasn't thinking about lounges, wasn't thinking about, ooh, there's a Delta One lounge. There's a huge new Delta Sky Club in Seattle. I got to go to that. No, it was, these are all cities I want to go to or I've been to, and I love Washington, D.C. Couldn't pick a city in North Carolina because I would have picked an obscure one. And no. Texas, Austin, I've always wanted to go to. San Antonio would be cool. Metroplex, just because of ease of getting into it. That's Dallas and Fort Worth and all the little pieces around it. And then Seattle would be fantastic. And it's the home of Boeing, which is one of the two companies that makes part of this whole process significantly easier for us. Those just happen to fall out of the sky from time to time, but Boeing.
If it goes up, it's got to come down. There's also an IHG in Seattle, and I have the ambassador certificate, so that would work great for me. Be real great because I'm thinking of potentially going there for my birthday.
Honestly,
Take
really
up-
surprised nobody picked San Francisco.
It's been a while.
I see it too often.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing. I'd end up at that one bar that does the Irish coffees, the touristy one that does the Irish coffees. I don't want to pay $18 for an Irish coffee. I don't care how good that Irish coffee is. It's $18 an Irish coffee. Yo.
And San Fran ain't what it used to be. Like I remember when
Yeah.
San Fran was great. Now it's not so great.
I lived in Oakland in the 90s, so yeah, going between Alameda, San Fran, and Oakland, nah,
No. So my brother went to Stanford, so I was
Oh,
always in
nice.
that area when he was in college, and that was back when it was great. It ain't like that no
Fair
more.
enough.
The
Yeah.
Metreon building, yeah, it ain't the same no more.
No, that's fair.
No, if I'm going to go out to the West Coast, I would love to do Seattle first. San Fran was nice. It's been a while since I've been out there, but when I was out there, it was not what Lonnie remembered. So I'll tell you that much. So yeah, there's our choices. We'll see what we can do there.